Well, this is our chicken pasture, whatever you want to call it, chicken field. And let's get these chickens out of here so we can do some cleanup. Go on. No, go the other way. No, go back there. No. The rooster is a very good protector. You can't fit through there. No, go around the tree. Go around the tree. So we have a second little paddock or pasture back there where we used to separate the goats. So I scared all the chickens back there for now because we have a problem. This whole pasture here is wooded, and it's a older, more mature forest, because you can tell that because there's not a lot of undergrowth, which means it has a very thick canopy. Doesn't allow a lot to grow down towards the ground. And our goats, they came in here the last couple years, and they killed a lot of these smaller trees. You can see these are all dead. That one was already dead. A lot of these small ones are all dead, and so we lost a lot of the understory in this pasture. And what has happened is we've lost some chickens to hawks. This is really kind of a first for me. In the woods here, raising chickens is completely different than what it was at the farm. We had 50 to 60 chickens. They would free range around pastures and our yard, and they would go all over, and we never lost any like this to hawks or owls or any overhead predators, because we always had a lot of brush for them, low brush that they could hide in, and it worked really well. When we had our goats here, I think the goats helped to deter this problem, because we never really had this problem in years past either. But now that we don't have the goats and we just have chickens, I was actually down in the garden, which is quite a few, maybe a couple hundred yards away from this area down the hill, and I heard the rooster making a very strange noise. It wasn't a normal crow. It was a very strange sound. It was more of a continual crow. It didn't have any pitch to it, and he kept making that noise, and I knew something was wrong. I came running up here, and immediately I saw a hawk flying out of that back pasture. Originally I had the chickens, had access to both pastures, and lo and behold, I went back there and there was a dead chicken that the hawk was eating. And so I need to do something here to help protect these chickens. I've already dealt with raccoons, I've already dealt with other predators and trying to get them secured at night, and I've dealt with a lot of those issues that I've taken care of, but I need to deal with this owl and hawk issue. So my first step is going to be to cut down and just get some of these trees out of the way. This one's probably the biggest one, and I'll just cut down all these smaller ones that are all dead and kind of clear this out. And then I'm going to hang some netting to help provide a good area in this pasture of protection for them. We'll start with cutting these trees down. Now that I've got the chickens back there, that I won't drop a tree on their head. We'll cut them, and hopefully I don't drop this tree on my nice new coop. That would be a bummer, wouldn't it? Well, that's the first time that's happened. I'm glad I had my face shield not down, because I think I forgot to put it down, but the chain broke. It actually snapped. The chain was way too loose, and it was actually an old chain I had. I just threw on there. I knew it was too loose. It was stretched out to the max, so yeah, it was a little dangerous to use. But hey, we got the tree cut down, barely, and it looks like we'll have to throw that chain out, even though it had a lot left on the teeth. That's too bad. Well, I'm going to be 43 years old this year, and this is a lesson, that I teach my kids all the time, but yet I still haven't seemed to learn 100% in my own life. don't be lazy. Always take time to, make things right and do things right. Make sure your stuff is prepared well. Don't rush through jobs. And that lesson is holding true today, because I went out with a chain that was stretched too loose. Well, I was in a hurry and I didn't feel like changing the chain out, and so I tightened the tensioner on the saw as far as it would go, and the chain was still loose. And I thought, well, I'll just go use it anyway. And so I did. I went out and used it anyway, and it could have been dangerous. That chain broke during that cut. And I've never had that happen before, actually. When that chain broke, it could have flown back and hit me. It could have, been real bad. And it was because of laziness. If I would have just taken the time to put a new chain on it, sharpen it up, and get out there and do the job right with the tools that were ready to go, that wouldn't have happened. So now I have to deal with the mess, and I'll show you what I've got. So this is the Husqvarna Rancher 455, and I just pulled the top plate off. And the tensioner is right here, so this is how you tension it. This slides on this little screw here. This block on the back side of this block is the pin it sits in the hole in the bar. This pushes the bar out forward, which tightens the chain, or usually when you have a new chain, it starts back here. As you use chains, and sometimes I run things hot, and over time the chain will continue to get stretched out a little bit, and you'll continue to move this over. And now it got to the end. Well, I kept turning it, so I turned it real hard into the end to get the tension out as far as I could on that chain, and now it's stuck. It won't turn back. Now I've caused more of a problem. I got to take this whole thing apart and figure out what's going on. Maybe I broke it. So a lot of this stuff is just plastic parts, but this is the tension screw. I think I pulled it right off the end of the thread. I pushed it so hard, I tightened it so hard that it pulled off the end of the thread. So now I have to figure out how to get it back on there. Time to put it back together. Such a perfect example of a job that if I would have done this right to begin with, we would have been done by now. Nice thing about these saws is they, you get one tool, and pretty much this tool you can almost repair anything in the field. It usually works for just about all the screws. You can take the spark plug out with it, and most all of the screws on the body of the saw, air filters, all that kind of stuff. All made in Sweden. So I'm gonna try a new brand of chain I have used. So I have some Oregon stuff that I've used, which I've liked. I think this has been pretty good. It's stayed sharp pretty well, cuts really well. These are full chisel, or they call them power cuts, but it's a full chisel. Not a safety chain, basically. I have Archer, which I have never tried before. These are all Australian, and I think all the steel, all the metal or the chains are made in Australia, as far as I know. And then all my chains are the same, so they're 3/8 inch. They're 0.5 inch as far as the actual bar gauge, how it slides through each of my bars. All my bars are the same. 72 links. That's a 20 inch full chisel. And the file size to sharpen is a 7/32. So all my chains have the same, whether it's for my steel 24-inch bar, my Husqvarna, or this Makita that I got that I haven't used yet. They all take the same chains. There's nothing like your first few cuts on a brand new chain. It's just amazing. So I actually just ordered a new bar as well. I'm gonna use this one again today, but I tried I was gonna drill this out and make a sawmill, make my own sawmill out of this. And I had a hard time drilling through this. So I got some new drill bits. I'm gonna try this on this old bar, making a sawmill out of it. But I said that in a previous video, and I was gonna do a whole video on it, and I started it and never finished it because I couldn't get the hole drilled big enough with the. So new chain on the bar. we'll run it a little bit and then we'll adjust it again. Sometimes it'll settle in a little bit right off the bat for the new chain, and you need to tighten it a little more. A lot of little trees to cut down. This one will go, all these little ones in here, I'll just cut those all down. And I'll just let those lie in here. Having the extra brush leaned up underneath here also is extra protection for the chickens. We'll give them cover where they can get underneath branches and things, and that way if there was a hawk or an owl or something like that trying to get them, they can hide from it, and it makes it harder for them to get it, and it makes it easier for them to get away. Oh, perfect. You came out just in time. You gotta pick up all these logs in here and throw them out of the pasture and stack them in the garage. Oh. What?
I got work to do.
Work? This is work. What are you talking about? Can get through underneath, and certainly hawks and owls and other things won't be able to get them very easily anyway. It gives them a little shelter. These chickens aren't exactly camouflage. I mean, the Isa Browns are, but the Brahmas aren't. Where are they? Well, there were 10 chickens here. That sounded like a hawk. Ran out into this weed / soybean field, and here they all are. Hey. Okay, let's go back to the safety of the chainsaw in the coop. Come on. Go on. Back to your coop. Go on. All right, safely back at home. All 7 of our young hens, and then our 3, the old flock, the rooster and the 2 Isas. So this is done. Kind of a little fort for the chickens to hide in. A lot of good firewood. This is nice and dry season dead stuff. Gonna be great for early season burning this year. So now I'll get a ladder out and see how I can somehow cover, maybe from the coop over to this tree, to some of those far ones. I'll just kind of spread that net through here. I may have to cut it and get around trees here. We'll see. I have a feeling if I don't do this right, I'm gonna end up with tangled mess. Like, I have a feeling all these little sticks are gonna be an issue because it's gonna get wrapped all in it. Okay. This has the potential to be really ugly. All right, I'm gonna try to stretch this out. Okay, well, you know what? This is a bad idea. This is a bad idea. You know, sometimes it's not until you actually get out and start to do something that you realize all of the problems with it. This is 50 feet of netting. As I tried to keep it off the ground, as I tried to unwind it or get it untangled from out of the box, it tied in several knots at the other end. And then I had to set it down, and as soon as it touched the ground, it just picked up every stick, and it sticks to everything. Every stick on the planet is now in this knot. It's tied in several knots that won't come out. And I was trying to like get one section out and then start, put it on a tree. And then to tree here, I was just gonna use some staples. But as I'm thinking through this, and as this is picking up I'm seeing leaves and sticks in this, I'm starting to think, well, this is not gonna work anyway here. There are a million sticks and leaves that are gonna fall out of these trees in the next couple months. It's September here. And I'm just gonna make a giant net for leaves. It's just gonna, it'll hold 1,000 pounds of leaves by the time all the leaves fall off the trees, because they won't fall through. And every stick and twig and everything else that falls off all these trees is just gonna end up in this net, and it's just gonna get heavy and it's gonna tear off the trees. So this was a bad idea. I'm just gonna throw this away. I have no time or patience to deal with anything like this. I probably could have done better, but the idea is not gonna work anyway. I see the chickens all scratching through the sawdust and finding little bugs and ants and things underneath my little shelter. And honestly, I think one of the best things to do with all these little trees is just to leave them right on a hinge. I cut it, left a little piece of wood there, and it just hinged right over. And then I just put it on a stump or, other pieces. And I could probably bring a lot of the trees I cut down in the back pasture and maybe pull them in here, make another little spot here, and just use these trees to support it and make a little canopy out of the sticks. I think that's going to be much better than this fail. Well, it's 90 degrees today. It's Labor Day. At least it's shady in here, but there's no breeze, and it's hot. I've been out here for a few hours. So I think it's time to end this one for the day. Giving up on the net. I think that net will drive me to sin in many ways. So we're going to put that away for right now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little update on our chickens and how we're trying to keep them safe. This is a method, the stick canopy, that I have used for many years in our smaller pastures and paddocks and chicken areas, and it has worked very well. As far as I know, I've never lost a chicken to hawks until we moved here. So I'm gonna probably continue to do this, make some other brush piles in here, and I think that will keep the hawks and aerial predators away. They've got the stone chicken coop shelter to be in, and then they've got these things. So hopefully this will solve that problem, and then we're gonna make sure we get them in at night to solve the raccoon problem, and I'll continue to trap and shoot raccoons in the area. I may try a different kind of automatic door. Many of you have suggested a different kind of automatic door, and there's barn door style sliding ones that slide horizontally. I may try one of those. Thumbs up on today's video. I'd have you tag along if you haven't already. Subscribe and see what we have upcoming. Lots of fun things, I'm sure, in the winter. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.